That'll do. Yeah. One side. Very bad. I know they were pissed in the first half because Nate was doing that thing where he lets them shoot. Yeah. And then 4 of them here. I checked it at halftime, and it was like 45% from three. And they had 4 made threes from guys who were 20%. And you know they shot a lot of games. Like, which one of these guys were the bad ones? No, he's good. This guy, Vincent, was 1 for 2. He's 18% of the season. This guy let shoot early 25% of the season. Well, and it does it. This is 8 to 3 for us. Yeah, that's crucial. I failed this game. I thought Riley was going to have that. Oh, I did. What's the deal with this another game like that? Or Riley? I don't know. Is it because of they weren't warm ups? But they didn't really care. Well, I guess.
Coach, we'll start with a statement about the game, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Hey, good game, man. That's a good game for the fans. Obviously, when two teams nearly score 100, and there's a shot at the end of the game to send the game into overtime, and there's a scrap underneath where the ball could have gone either way. If we pick it up, lay it up, we take the lead. So, you know, when you have a game like that, it's a treat for the fans. I'm obviously from Alabama, and I like when you get to see good basketball. So if you would said years ago you get to see two teams play in a scrap in a one-possession games and both teams only score 200 points, everybody would say, man, where did I sign up to get to watch that? So I was glad that the game delivered to that. Obviously, I wanted to come out on the right side of that game. Alabama was really good. Some of their guards made some really big shots late in that game, you know, and played well. Ours played well, too. So that's why the game could have absolutely gone either way. And, you know, we just got to keep trucking along. I told our players in the locker room, it's tough that we didn't come out on the right side of it, but at the end of the day, we're halfway through the league. We're in first place of the league. We have 5 of our remaining 9 games at home. If I would have said that before the season, we got an opportunity to go to sole possession in first place here on Saturday. So if I would have said, hey, before SEC play started, you know, what do you think? Would you sign up for that? We would say we'd sign up for that. And we have signed up for that. So we got to move on from this one and realize the opportunity that's in front of us.
Wanted to ask you about the full court pressure. It seemed like Alabama did a good job of not turning it over. Also seemed like y'all did a pretty good job of making sure they didn't get any easy looks.
Right.
Breaking away. What were your thoughts on it?
It was good. I mean, that was our best defense in the game when we just looked at some of the analytics of it. They missed some threes, you know, against it. But you know, I think that's when it's a treat for the fans where they're both they're comfortable rolling and we're comfortable rolling. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, our problems was the second half and the half court on D. They got going. We couldn't keep them out of the paint. But full court, I was okay with the way that the game was going, and they were probably okay as well, and that's why it was a fun game.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about you guys' game plan. You guys did a great job back cutting and getting your guards downhill for just about the entire second half. Was that something you guys saw on film and game plan? And then I wanted to ask you about the impact of a young man from my city that I've watched grow up, Jakari Lane, getting a chance to play for you and play on the biggest stage in college basketball, and what kind of impact he's made on your squad.
Yeah, good question. We want to take what the defense gives us. If they're top locking, we got to take advantage of their top locks, and whatever that calls for. If they want to play between ball and the rim, we got to go get the hand cuts and come off wide pin. So whatever the defense, it's an offensive game. I mean, if you make the right read, the defense should be at the offense's mercy. We missed a couple of those that we were right there at the rim, and we got to finish those. We didn't finish great at the rim. Jakari Lane's a winner, in every way. Usually he's the best guard on the floor, or most valuable guard on the floor to their team. I don't know even what he shot. I don't care if he scored. I don't know. He's just a complete winner, and he's the kind of player you can ride with, kind of player you can get the NCAA tournament with and do something with, because he's got a heart and he's got character. And, when things are going good, he's steady. When things are going bad, he's steady. And he's just done that. He was a state champion in high school, conference champion before he came here at UNA. And right now we're pursuing a conference championship right now with him as our starting point guard.
Bucky, a well-coached game by both sides. You mentioned this in your opening remarks, but what do you credit this great start for so far for you guys?
I think that we got good people in our locker room. We don't lose sight of the main thing, which is playing hard and unselfish. We have depth, even though we have no returners from last year's team. We do have some older guys in there, and they're a true team in every regard. They're not worried so much about like, hey, did I get my points? What does my AAU coach think? What does this guy think? They're about winning. And when you do that, and particularly in this day and age of college athletics, regardless if there's a size gap, a talent gap that could happen every now and then, I'll take our side if we keep playing that way.
Bucky, what kind of emotions ran through you tonight coming home? You've been in this building and come up very close before, seeing so many people that you know from the past.
That was good. It was good to see everybody. I had a lot of texts this week. And, like I said, my parents went to the University of Alabama. I know a lot of people here. I used to go to all the games when Wimp Sanderson was the coach and sit up there. Me and my dad did. I saw Wimp for the game. I told him that's right where we sit, right up there, man. Watch every game. Watch Robert Ory, Latrell Sprewell, James Robinson. I watched all those guys. So, it was great. It was great for my parents, right, to get to see that. They were University of Alabama grads. It was even better when we beat Auburn. They loved that, and but they were pulling for the Aggies tonight, and so it was good to see people. And it was great for them.
Coach, every Alabama guard in double figures tonight. What makes the Alabama so difficult to defend?
Just multiple shooters, talent. Like someone asked about, what do you think about the team? Like, well, they have skill, size, athleticism. They're not missing much here, and, they had us size at most of the spots. They have great skill. So they got a great roster. And when they're playing well, they've been the top 10 caliber team in the country when they played well. I thought they'd play good tonight. That was the worst I'd seen them play at Florida in a while. And that just happens. And so I figured they'd come back and really, really play well tonight. And obviously they did. I know Nate would get them right. And, they played good basketball tonight.
Coach, it's a broad question, and I've been blessed to follow your entire career from Mountain Brook to Sanford and now here to at A&M. In so many words, how do you build such special cultures in your programs?
With great people, obviously, and then just focus on the long term and never waver. I think that's the most important thing. Like, everywhere that I've been, if I was at Mountain Brook High School, our first year was only a year we didn't win 20 games. It took us 5 years to win a playoff game, but then we played in 7 of the next 8 state championships because we kept a long-term vision. Our athletic director at Sanford, I was fortunate enough, got the biggest break of my life. Martin Newton back there hired me at Sanford. And I remember talking to him. He just said, man, don't worry about the short term, save long term. That gave me all the confidence I needed to do what we wanted to do. We won 6 games my first year at Sanford, 6 games. And then we won 3 conference championships, won 20-plus games every year and had it going. This year, we started off 2-2. We played Oklahoma State. We looked like a JV team playing a varsity. We lost at home to Central Florida. And then since then until tonight, that was November 14th was the game, we have not been trailing at the end of regulation. We lost 2 games in overtime, 1 in double overtime. And 1 game in overtime, another in double overtime. Then tonight, I thought we were going to overtime again, right? So that shows something. And culture travels too, right? It's not just like you're amped up, man. I'm so pumped up to play at home. We played 5 games on the road in the first half of the league, right? We won at Auburn, won at Texas, won at Georgia, lost in double OT at Tennessee, and then we're shot away here to take it to overtime again tonight. And I think we just keep focusing long term. Good things will happen for us.
Anything else for Coach? All right.
Yep.
Oh, one more over here, and then we'll wrap it up.
Sorry, Bucky. Just wanted to ask you about that final sequence. How do you coach that end of game situation in the sense of trying to miss it, tip it back? You got a pretty good look from 3. I'm just interested. Do you guys work on that throughout the week and throughout the preseason?
Yeah, I mean, you don't have a lot of time to work on it a lot. I'd be lying to you. We may do a special situation one day on what to do. We put your best rebounders in there. I mean, this is genius coaching. Put your tall rebounders in there to try to go tip it out. And we got a great look, we got a great look. The whole sequence coming down to that, where we went and we had the turnover right there with our big guys on the press, executed it perfectly, and we're trying to get that ball and lay it up. Then we got to come in there and we're trying to get a jump ball before foul, but we foul quick, come down the other end, and then we had that opportunity. But I'm saying that for this reason. You're saying, Coach, I didn't ask you all that. The reason we wouldn't have even got to that point if we couldn't execute the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? And, executed it right, had a good look. It looked good from the side, didn't it? Anyway, thank y'all. Appreciate it.
Hey, Aiden, just wanted to ask you about that circus shot to put you guys up 4. What's going through your mind right there? And you're not really that demonstrative, but you were kind of chirping at the end of that. You look like you're having fun out there. Just walk me through that play.
Man, I got to give credit to the guy guarding me. I forgot his first name, number 0. I personally feel like he was fouling me, but a few different times in that possession. But I was just trying to get the shot up because I know the shot clock was going down, and I knew we needed to just get it on the rim, and we got a lot of guys that can get old boards, so I was just trying to get it on the rim, and it happened to go in. So.
Amari, first off, how's it feel to be kind of fully back in action, second game back after a minute? And then take us through 2:27 left, your defensive rebound that really starts the, oh, you're going to seal the game. Your mindset when the ball goes up, and just your mindset in general when the ball goes up.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Clark and Hen. You know, I've been in there a lot with them, you know, trying to get back healthy, fully healthy, and I'm starting to feel like myself again. You know, I went into halftime with like 2 rebounds. You know, Oates said I had to step it up and get some more. So my mentality every time the ball goes up, you just go up and grab it. And I feel like, you know, I'm starting to feel back healthy in my legs. So just going up and getting it every time I can is what I try to do.
Aiden, it took until 5:40 was left until it. Excuse me. Let me start that over. It took until 5:40 remained in the first half for you to make your first shot of the game. Well, not even to make the first shot of the game, but attempt your first shot of the game. What kind of took you so long to start today?
I really wasn't concerned with my own shots. I was just concerned with like the team getting the best shot we could each possession. Just knowing their defensive scheme and how aggressive they were. Like I just know that we could create a lot of open threes, and it might not be me all the time. So I was just trying to find my teammates and just let them get a rhythm.
Hey, Aiden, just given what happened Sunday, it seemed like it was really intense there in the final minute to try to close out the win. Just how bad did you guys want to close this one out?
Extremely bad, man. Like, program not used to losing, and we just got to turn this thing around. And I feel like today was a great start, just showing how gritty we are, how bad we really want it, and it's just time to really turn things around. So.
For either player, just kind of how testy was it out there tonight with their full court press, and kind of how were y'all able to work through that, maybe mentally and then also physically?
Yeah, I mean, you know, they pressed the whole game, but I feel like we were prepared coming in. You know, we had 2 good practices coming into this game. We're really focused on that press, so I feel like it didn't really give us any problems for real. I mean, we only had 6 turnovers, and they're used to turnover teams a lot, so I feel like we handled it well.
Yeah, Amari, just how comfortable are you just running more point guard, being more of an initiator, kind of like we saw you tonight?
Yeah, I'm real comfortable, and I mean, I feel like that's part because of my teammates. You know, in practice, I run the point a lot. You know, going against Barron, Biz. You know, but they really allow me to put the ball in my hands and give me confidence. So it's good.
This is for one of your teammates, and you know, and Amari, he's a freshman like yourself, and he was on the floor for about 12 minutes tonight, but he had a sequence of about 3 straight times down the floor he scored. Talk about the development a little bit of London Jemison and kind of how you guys are trying to pump him up, because he's going to be key down the stretch.
I mean, he's in the gym every single day, so for him to come out and go 4 for 6, you know, get some big rebounds, points. I mean, we expect that of him. You know, we have a high standard for everyone on our team, but he really puts in the work, so he deserves to, you know, have a good performance like that.
Aiden, could you talk about Jacob Martin? We kind of saw him before the game get pretty lively in the huddle, and then after the sequence of the first half, to end the first half to tie the game, he got pretty lively again. What does he mean to you guys as a walk-on, and what was he kind of saying before the game and at halftime?
He was just getting everybody energy up, just letting us know like what's at stake, and everybody loved J Martin, man. Like, he just always bringing that energy every single day. And I feel like he did a great job of that, and I feel like that helped us a lot today to really just push through and get the win. So, shout out J Martin for sure.
thought our guys had a good response to the loss at Florida with all the turnovers we had against Florida. I thought our guards did a really good job taking care of the ball. We only ended up with 6 turnovers. And look, man, give A&M a lot of credit. They played hard. They're a good team. I mean, they were in first place by themselves for a reason. It's a good team with good players. And I think they were averaging 15 plus turnovers a game coming into this. So it took a lot of focus from our guards. I mean, you kind of go down the list. Amari had 6 assists, 1 turnover. LeBaron coming off the bad game at Florida with his turnovers. Had no turnovers, handling the pressure. He played 36 minutes with 0 turnovers and 3 assists. It's pretty big. Holloway, who has a career high in rebounds tonight, also, had 4 assists, 2 turnovers, and nobody else had more than 2, and thought he did a pretty good job handling the pressure most of the night himself. Reitzel had 3 assists, 1 turnover. So I think when, we've been talking about the possession game, and we have not done a great job in the possession game most of the year. Turnovers were even. Offensive rebounds were plus 8. So plus 8 there, kind of make up for the fact that we didn't shoot it particularly well, and we missed too many free throws too. Outside of Aiden Sherrill, we didn't have anybody go 100% at the line. So I thought our bigs did a really good job between Aiden Sherrill and Charles Bediako keeping AG, if that's pronounced correctly, off the glass. I mean, that's the lowest number of rebounds he's had all year, with only 3 rebounds and no offensive rebounds. So thought they did a good job there. We did a good job on the glass. Just, and they got some shot making from some guys that typically didn't make shots. I mean, there's 5 guys that we kind of had weren't on the shooters list per se, but that threw in, I think, 7 threes combined between the 5 of those guys. So we got to do a little bit better job explaining to our guys, like, they may not have made many on the year. Like AG only made 10, Hill only made 9 in 21 games. So these guys are making less than 1 every 2 games or 3 games, but you still got to close out. So, if we'd have done a little bit better job on some of those, I thought we could open it up a little more, particularly in the first half, because 6 of those 7 came in the first half. But, then our guys stayed with it. I think we got down 6 in the second half at one point. We bounced back, finished the game on a 6-2 run, I believe, because they were up on us. They were up on us with a minute and a half to go, and we had to kind of close the game there on a run. So thought we did a solid job taking care of the ball late when they really turned their pressure up. We had some iffy ones there, but we got out of it with a win, which we needed bad at this point.
Yeah, Aiden and LeBaron combined for 29 points in the second half after only having 8 in the first. Just kind of what was the message to them at halftime?
I didn't really say anything about scoring. We were not going to talk about scoring this game. We're going to talk about our effort, our toughness, and our playing for each other, our mudita, if you will. So I just told them, we got to get more stops. We got to take away the threes from those guys that maybe aren't known as shooters. We still got to close out, even if we're going to play off them a little more when they don't have the ball, and just keep focusing on getting stops and taking care of the ball. And you know what? I think when those guys focus on the right stuff, like they did tonight, and they're maybe the best backcourt in the country. So, we need Holloway to keep playing like he did. I mean, shoot, he dug out some tough rebounds late in that game. So for him to have 6 rebounds, 20 points, 4 assists, that's a pretty good game out of him.
It just your bench production today, guys like London and Houston, just what did they provide just that you needed with guys maybe struggling in the first half?
Yeah, I mean, we know Houston can shoot. We know London can shoot. Those guys combined to go 50%, 6 out of 12. Thought that particularly in the first half, those couple threes by London were big. Houston's big-time effort guy. We need him to stay out of foul trouble so he can stay in the game a little more. But, man, getting 22 points out of those 2 guys and hitting 6 threes in a game like this is big, so you got to have some shooting off the bench like we had.
What happened on the technical foul, and then kind of how did you see the team respond after that happened?
Tried to stay away from technicals this year. I didn't say anything necessarily that I thought was deserving of it, but probably just said one last comment that I should have just kept my mouth shut. See, I've got on my play card I keep in my pocket here, I got Proverbs 19:11. It says, "The discretion of a man defers his anger, and it's his glory to pass over transgression." So I should have just passed over the transgression, I thought, by the referees, but sometimes I don't pull it out and read it like I need to. So I didn't do a good enough job. I think that's only my second one all year, though, so I know somewhere out there in the Twitter space they keep track of my tees, and we usually win. I think the last time I got a tee this year, we did not win, so I would not have been happy with myself if we'd have lost this game by 1 or 2 points, giving away 2 free points. So,
I want to ask you a couple questions about the full court press that y'all saw. Is that as much press as you've seen in a game since you've been at Alabama? One, and two, from a coaching standpoint, are you happy enough that the team did a great job of breaking the press without turning the ball over, or do you also want to see more easy looks off of that?
yeah, great question. One, yes, that's the most anybody's pressed us since I've been here that I can remember. I don't think anybody. I mean, they pressed on every possession for 40 minutes, so nobody that we've played really has done that. We did a great job taking care of the ball. We did not do as good a job getting the quality shots that we'd like to out of it. You know, it's like 48 threes, and I don't mind 48 threes. I think you guys all know that, but they need to be 48 great threes, and I thought we rushed into a few, took some contested ones. And I told them I don't want to turn down open threes, because when you turn down open shots against a team like this, you're bound to turn the ball over later. But I thought we took a few that weren't open. I mean, I felt like we could get a paint touch on every possession. They didn't, you know, we could get in the paint a little bit more, get them in the blender more often, end up with some more dunks, fouls, wide open threes. We weren't terrible with our shot selection, but it was not as good as what it needed to be.
You started out by mentioning just the response from the team from the Florida game. What maybe changed or clicked to go from that to beating the top team in the SEC?
I'm going to say this, our guys stepped up, took some ownership. Some guys addressed it in front of the team. It was embarrassing at Florida. I think in order to change some stuff, you got to admit you're wrong. I think some guys admitted their effort wasn't where it needed to be, their mind wasn't where it needed to be, and we got to turn this thing around. So I think it was more an internal thing. We got to get internal leadership from the players. I think it's starting to step up. The practice we had yesterday was as intense a practice as we've had since non-conference for sure. Like, some guys went at each other, some guys challenged some other guys, thought it was great, and then we did more live stuff, kind of good on good first, and we kind of mixed the guys. It wasn't first team, second team necessarily. You know, we had Mari and LeBaron going at it. You know, because we didn't have everybody. And then when we got together at the end of practice and kind of went against our scout team, thought they did a really good job pulling themselves together, realizing we are in the same team. We're challenge each other in practice to make each other better, and then we got to pull together and be on the same team when we play together. And I thought we were a lot better that way tonight and competed a lot harder.
Coach, kind of on that same theme with response and accountability. We saw Jacob Martin before the game get really excited, get really animated in the huddle, and then same thing after the three-pointer to tie to go in the locker room, just getting in everybody's face and keeping that energy very high. What has his role been in the response, and what's his role been kind of on the team?
Yeah, I was not out there. I heard he did a pretty good job getting everybody fired up. I didn't know he had all that in him. He plays hard. He's smart. He's passionate. He comes to work every day. And he does a really good job on our scout team and making our bigs better. And I liked it. I mean, shoot, I need to get a video. I haven't seen it. I heard from a couple of the assistants, the players talked about it, and then I got to do radio at halftime, so I guess I didn't get to see his halftime celebration either. But I'll say this: the things Jacob's about, the stuff we got to be about, playing hard, toughness, rebounding, blue collar. So the play to end the half was a offensive rebound tip by Houston that led to a three, which ends up being a game-winning play. I mean, it's a one-possession game, and we needed those 3 points in a bad way that tied it at the half. So I love the fact he celebrated that like it was the best dunk you've ever seen, because we got to make this thing more about effort, blue collar, tough plays like that.
After the back-to-back dunks by Texas A&M in the first half, it seemed like you gave Charles Bediako a little bit of an earful after he checked out. How do you feel like he responded to that moving forward?
Charles has been coached by me before. Charles knows there's an intensity level he's got to bring. Maybe they don't coach like that in the G League. I don't know. But you got to get up and make a play. He's in there for his shot blocking. You can't just watch the guy run by him and get dunks. I love Charles. Super happy he's here. Our players love him. He's like the best teammate ever, but that doesn't mean you can't coach him and challenge him. Every good player wants to be coached hard, and Charles is no different.
Some big offensive buckets late. Latrell Wrightsell in the corner, and then that Holloway circus shot. We knew he could shoot the three from when he was at Auburn, but just how much better has he gotten at the rim, and then your take on that crazy shot at the end of the game?
Yeah, so obviously Wrightsell hits big shots. I think he's been one of our best big shot maker in the games he's played since he's been here. I can go through a number of games where he's hit clutch shots late in games to seal a lead, give us a lead like it did tonight, put us ahead. So no surprise from Wrightsell. Super happy for him. He's been one of our leaders stepping up to try to make this about the right stuff. So, yeah, it was great. I mean, and he goes 4 for 11. It's not 7 for 10 like he was against Missouri, but it's good. I mean, it's, over 33%. We needed all 4 of those threes he made. And then, Holloway is one of the best shooters I've ever coached. But he didn't shoot it great from 3 tonight, but he's really gotten a lot stronger. He's worked hard since he's been here. He's gotten with Henry, our strength. Matter of fact, all the guys are lifting right now. So he's working on his body. He's gotten a lot stronger. Amanda, our dietitian, has gotten him, beefed up. He weighs a lot more. I think he can use it and get downhill. He's a crafty finisher, but I think he's gotten stronger to where he can take some contact and shoot. That was a disastrous set. In hindsight, I probably should have called a timeout when it wasn't going well. They didn't really get in the action I wanted them to, and most of the time it's a lot better to have great players than it is to have the great plays. And we certainly didn't have a great play on that possession, but we had great players, and great player when made a great play, and it's a lot better to have great players than it is to have good plays.
Just given how badly you guys wanted to win this game tonight, what did you make of the urgency there from your team over the last couple of minutes?
Yeah, we needed the win in a bad way. I told these guys coming in that just because, and I thought we got our minds right since Sunday, because Sunday was a disaster. One of the most embarrassing games I've ever been involved with in my life, to be honest with you. With our effort, our turnovers, our focus, terrible. And I thought we did get our minds right Sunday, and I'm sorry, not Sunday after the game, but more Monday, Tuesday, even walked through this morning. I thought we were really focused. But I told them before the game, just because you have your minds right doesn't mean everything's going to go well. No, we're going to still face some adversity. I mean, we can't get over this injury bug. It was like the weirdest thing at the beginning. I thought we were ready to have a great practice Monday or Tuesday. My fault, Tuesday, and was it Tuesday or Monday? No, I can't remember which one it was. No, it was Tuesday. We actually practiced hard Tuesday, and Amari rolls his ankle in a walkthrough. Wrightsell gets bumped into somebody, not even in a drill, and, has an Achilles scare that he has to get scanned on and can't practice after I thought he was bound to have the best practice he's been able to have. And stuff happens. Like, you face a little adversity. And I told him, like, don't expect things to go perfect. I don't even want them to go perfect. There's going to be some mistakes. They're going to make some tough shots. Sure enough, 6 threes in the first half from guys that don't really make threes all year. So, and then second half, the fouling obviously wasn't going our way. In the second half, part of that's us. We got to do a better job guarding without fouling. So, we face a little adversity. All of a sudden, we find ourselves down 6. Like, we tried to prep them for it, but I thought they did a really good job responding. And then, like you said, the sense of urgency late, especially when A&M's sense of urgency went up, and their pressure led to more. And we almost turned it over. You go to that one play when it's almost 10-second call on the jump ball. Reitzel dives in there and makes a tough play on a loose ball. We just think the guys really wanted to win. They made some tough plays when we needed to, and happy for the guys.